Here, welcome to this week's edition of Fearless Flight Live, and we lost two of our crew members out there. One of them is working hard, claims she's old, and being taken advantage of. Diane just had a exhaustive 4-day trip, and she's going out on another one tomorrow, so she decided to treat herself to the night off. And Eric is off doing some things, personal business tonight regarding his wife's memorial that he's going to have a little bit. So he did have me. He wanted me to pass along to Jim Duke. I know it was a kidding maneuver, but something about he wanted to tell you, Jim, that you scared him away with questions or whatever. I didn't get that. I wasn't paying adequate attention there, but you get the drift. So Dieter and I are here. Yeah. Dieter and I are here to hold down the fort, and I'm really excited. I've been promising an online course for the past too many years, and we finally did it. And you would never know on the outside. I'm not looking for pity or sympathy or anything, but it's an exhaustive process to switch platforms. And it's fun to watch. I know Dieter would testify to that, watching me try to do some things that are absolutely way over my head. And but we pulled it off, and you'll be finding our mistakes to correct for some time now, but we got it done. And that sound you heard today was us sliding into home plate, because we got the thing launched today. And we're really looking forward, because this is the new era for Fearless Flight, appropriately starting the 2022, and we're going to Boston. We're going to fly in Phoenix, we're going to fly in Boston, and we're going to fly in back in the LA area out of Burbank. So be patient with us. I know that those of you who have registered, thank you, and just know that we have not sent out the flight information. I intend to get that done tomorrow or the next day at the latest. I'm looking for the absolute best flights that give us a good pattern. Plus, I've got to be able to commute in to LA and to Boston to get there in time to do it and all that. So we will be providing that information, and we're encouraging anybody and everybody out there to register. It's the lowest price that we've ever done for the Clifford Takeoff 201. That's our goal. And you don't just get the 201 class when you register. You get the class, and you get a 3-month follow-up. So you're going to be able to do that. And tonight, Dieter's going to share with you some of the nuances of this new platform that we have. It's called Learning Management LMS, Learning Management Systems. It's a way to disseminate information. One of the things I did as an airline pilot, I was involved in training much of the last 15 years that I flew, and I had the rare opportunity to take some really, really great courses on how adults learn and the psychology of learning. And this system that we have that we'll be delivering that offers us the best of that technology. So we're excited about that. I should say this is Fearless Flight, of course, and Fearless Flight Live. It's our weekly show that we do on simulcast on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter. And you can find us here every week talking to people who are afraid to fly, people who know somebody's afraid to fly, and people who just like to talk about aviation. And the next thing that we like to talk about is our Fearless Flight Birds of a Feather group. This is our special group that we just crossed 900 members with a couple weeks ago. And this is a group that you can join and feel right at home with people who are like-minded in that there's something about flying and holding their attention, preventing it from getting hijacked, that they find comforting in the group. And so we'd love to have you join that as well. Tonight, we're going to talk about, if you've got any questions or comments, whether you're watching it live or you're looking at the replay, please feel free to post those. We'll go through those and get as many as we can tonight, and and after the class. We're going to talk about registration. We're going to just take you through the live site and just give you the highlights of what it takes to register and where you go for that. And then we're going to move into the new, gosh, what do we call that thing, Dieter? Portal, or not a portal? Like
well, we call it the hub. It's like
the hub. Yeah. Yes. It's our version of the hub, and that's where you go for any courses, not just Clear for Takeoff 201, but for other courses that we're adding, and we'll probably give you a chance to look at one that we had out there and we've imported in there, which is another feature of the system. So we can switch and mix and match and give you more bang for your buck. I don't have an update an aviation update per se. I got a fun little article I saw about COVID, and we'll talk about that. And then I will take your questions and comments, and that'll be it for tonight. So without further ado, let's put up the registration slide on there, or we can go live if you want, Dieter, to the site.
Yeah. So just maybe if you just want to talk about the early bird special and how much time we still got on that, and then go live.
Okay. Do you want to put either the slide, the PowerPoint up there, or the live?
The slide's already up, actually.
It is already up. Oh, of course. I'm looking at it. Was buried under all my desktop stuff there. Okay, sure. Okay, you can see at the top the early bird special pricing. These prices reflect the discounts, and they will be valid until midnight of January 31st. And after that, they'll go back to, it's still going to be a reduced price, but it's going to be a little bit higher than this. We wanted to kind of get this thing gelled prior to getting too deep into February, because we want to do some planning. I've got some planning for the live webinars and whatnot for that. And let's see. So the early bird pricing is on until January 31st, which is this Sunday, I think, or Monday maybe.
6 more days.
Yeah, it's actually next Monday. So we got 6 more days. Yeah, okay. And so we really encourage you to take advantage of that. And this is, like I said, this is going to be like no other. It's not just going to be us talking, even in just 4 modules. The modules are where we're going to really answer your questions and engage you, because the learning content, as you'll see in just a minute, is going to be available to you as soon as you register. And we put the one other thing that we put on. You want to put the checkout page up there just to show people
Hold on. Just pull up that share. Just give me a second. There we go. So that's just a screenshot of our.
Okay, it's coming up.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of small there, but there are 5 ways you can register. The first one is and they're all early bird pricing right now. The first one is if you just want to take the course by itself. And to my surprise, when I did the last 2 courses at the end of last year, I was amazed at how many people wrote me and said, "Hey, I can't fly, but can I take the course?" And I got to thinking, well, why wouldn't they be able to take the course? And so not only can you take the course, oh my gosh, what was her name in Australia? So from anywhere around the world, you can take advantage of the new format and everything. And then also, we're going to be going to other areas in the country, so you'll be primed and ready when we do the graduation flight in areas other than Boston, Phoenix, and LA down the road there. So the first option there is the course only for $197. The second option gives you a 2-pay option. It splits it in 2. The third option, the one that's actually marked on this one, is the class and the flight. So you'd be taking the class. You'd also be enrolling for the CFT201 graduation flight in either Boston or Phoenix, Boston, or the LA area. And then the fourth option is that same thing, the class plus the flight. And we turned it into a 2-pay. Voice meter potato. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that's actually mine. So let me fix that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Before I fix that, we're gonna get back to the pricing options, but there's already a couple of questions.
Okay.
And I wanna take the moment to answer Sue's question. And Sue asked, do you think that that it's a better class in person? And I wanna speak to that because you and I, Ron, have spent the better part of this pandemic to really figure out how to take that one day experience where we meet in the morning, we go hard at a hotel or at Air Hollywood until the early afternoon, then get to the airport and then jump on that flight and fly, and then come back, which makes for an extremely long day, which has been extremely successful. But I will say this: the way we have structured these 4 online live webinars, so not only do you get actually more content, but it's actually going to be a lot more interactive, meaning we can interact with you a lot better than we were able before. Plus, having the course hub, as Ron was mentioning, we have also content in there that you would have never had access to if you came for the live in-person class at a hotel or wherever we did the class before. So
exactly. Not only would they not have had access to it, but you won't have ongoing access afterwards. You're going to have access to this for a full 3 months after this. And the one thing that's always frustrated me is by the time it makes an extremely long day. For one thing, it would be very difficult in other markets like in Boston, where there's a limited. Boston is not a hub for any airline, so it's picky. It's tricky to pick just a flight combination that we can get out of Boston and get back. And anybody in Boston or anywhere in the other areas here, pray for good winter weather, because we don't want the snow coming in. Although it'd be fun to have to get together as a group and that and experience some of the delays and all that. Yeah, but the main thing that Dieter pointed out is the content, the platform. We can get a lot more to you. You can learn on demand. It doesn't have to be on our schedule. It can be on your schedule. And then we bring it all together in each of the 4 modules. So you can now drill down and we can go much deeper with you. So, and what do you lose? What do you lose with the one-time meeting face-to-face? We gain more than that when we do the flight. If you fly with us, it's a phenomenal experience. So, and
then the other thing one thing is obviously the travel cost, like depending on where you're coming from, you might have to book a hotel, so that's one other aspect. But what we always had the biggest challenge, Sue, and I know that you guys up in Boston are excited to fly. The biggest challenge was always that when we put out the class, the time was always so close.
Exactly.
To fly. And so therefore, and most of the time we fly with Southwest, what that means is the prices go up the closer to the flight date. So now doing our classes, a month ahead, we really get the cheapest deals on the flights. And like Ron said in the beginning of the show, he is still working out the best combinations for all these flights. And I think that has been a big barrier for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so even if you just take the online class, live now, and you're not even intending to fly because you're in Australia or in the UK or even in Atlanta or somewhere. But even if you are in one of those areas like Boston, Phoenix, or LA, you're going to get a much better flight option, because now we're not limited to just kind of like the afternoon and evening part to catch a flight. So that's another really big bonus that's come out of this.
And just imagine in the old days, quote unquote, prior to the last 2 classes, we had to convince a group of people, namely you, fearful flyers, that one, you would be something that you never thought possible, perhaps, or thought it remotely possible. We had to convince you 2 months out, way before the class, that you should spend money on a ticket. Okay, it's one thing to spend it on the class, it's another to spend it on the ticket. So people would naturally wait. We get to the night before. And the saddest thing is we'd have 25 to 50% of the people who would take the class on Saturday who did not purchase a ticket and regretted the fact that they didn't do that. And then some people who got closer said, I think I can do that this weekend. As Dieter said, by that time, hell, the price has doubled, or sometimes
no more options. We had people
no more options.
Get on the flight,
so now you get the ticket out of the way up front, and why should it be any different? I don't know, but I'm noticing a shift in people's willingness. Maybe it's because you're far enough away that you don't realize all that anxiety, but it works much better to get the ticket, get the class underway, and now we've got time to bond. And Zoom turns out to be a great platform for getting together with people online and learning. And we use breakout rooms in the classes, and it just works out super slick. So we should mention the last option there. So let's say you just haven't, you can't convince yourself yet that you want to do that. What we've done is Dieter created a free option here, a sneak peek, he calls it, and you can click on that, and that will then take you down to a special registration form. It'll pop up. Because all of these have separate links to take care of all the deals in there. One of the things I should mention is for the top 4, you'll notice down at the bottom there, you've got the graduation flight companion fee. So if you want to take somebody with you, whether you're doing the single pay or the multi-pay, you want to check that option down there, and it adds $100 for the flight, or for the companion fare, and it automatically puts the numbers in there. So back to the last option is the not ready to commit, take a sneak peek. If you check there and you register, it will take you to the same course that everybody who's doing the paid version gets to. Only there are restrictions, so you won't be able to see everything. So, but we picked some plums out of there, so you can take a look at that. And the most important thing, I think, and Dieter thought, is we gave you some of the feedback from the people who have taken the course over time, particularly the last 2 classes where we've revamped the format there. So that gets us to the next.
I just wanna say this, because at least from, maybe that was because I was listening from Toronto. The $100 is the fee for the companion for the graduation flight. It's not the fare.
Not the ticket.
It's really important. It's just the fee. When you bring a friend, spouse, or family member, you'd still have to purchase their ticket as well, and the $100 just the fee to cover, because we're all going to go and having a briefing, so another webinar just before the flight, that's just for you wherever you're going to fly with us from, and so that's covering all that admin and other stuff as well.
And as soon as Southwest Airlines recognizes what a service we're doing for them and lets us fly for free, you'll be the first to know about it, believe me. But until that time, we're sorry, but you have to purchase your own ticket for you and a companion if you have one. But we do have the guarantee. If you attend the 4 webinars, go through the course, and you get done, and for whatever reason it's to your satisfaction, if it didn't meet the goals that you had anticipated, we'll give you your money back. We can't give you the Southwest airline ticket fare back, but you can still, I'm assuming that sooner or later you're going to want to fly, and you'll have a ticket that's good for up to a year. And we'll be, like I said earlier, Dieter and I will be getting some information out to you once you sign up. If you have elected to be one of our graduation flyers, we'll send you, we're going to gather some more information from you, give you all the specifics on the flight, and move forward with that. Okay.
So let me just quickly share what it looks like inside of that course.
Okay.
And then I can also speak to what the sneak peek has access to, because obviously we want to just kind of give you a taste, because that's what we found. It's your confidence is probably not very high. Even if you did want to take the course, laying out the money just for the course may, be a barrier in your mind. So we want to show you what's inside, and I'll just quickly let you know if you are not ready yet, just want to go with the sneak peek, what you have access to, because the fact is, obviously, you don't have access to the entire course or the modules and stuff. So let me just
and the people who get over their fear of flying are the ones that persist and are committed. And like I said, you're not signing up for just this one Clear for Takeoff 201. You're signing up for 3 of them. Okay. And we're constantly adding information. So for you could take this, and the people who have the most success are the ones that keep coming back. We've got in this class, we'll have several people. This will be their 3rd time taking the course. And some of them have flown, but they want to keep current. They don't want to backslide. They don't want to have to reinvent the wheel again.
Yeah. So right now, so what you're seeing is actually right after the checkout or right after you fill out the questionnaire with a sneak peek or otherwise, you're going to get into this course area here where the start here that Captain Ron already put a welcome video here for all of you. And we've decided to also, until we're actually going to go live with the first webinar, that we also give you access to our putting mindfulness into practice right from here. So you're also enrolled in that course, and you just have to click on this one over here, putting mindfulness, and then this link will get you straight into that mini course. As a sneak peeker, you have access to, this is a great one. This is Colleen Wozicki, one of the early online course graduates. And Colleen was gracious enough to really go through her entire journey. And we literally laid out in a few short videos what her journey was. And this, especially if you're still thinking about taking that online course, this is a great one. We also have another bonus that's Courtney's success story. We have some great student interviews as well. And then if you actually chose to enroll in the paid option, then obviously you already have access to the different modules and all the additional content that we have already put in here. So for example, there's some other stuff that you'll get access at a later date. We're just kind of like don't want to overwhelm you. And
some of the activities, we'll be doing those in the live webinars. And that's why there's no point in giving you access to that at that point in time.
Exactly. So that's really what it looks like in there. It's very well laid out. It's easy to kind of navigate, I'm gonna say. And I have 5 tips for you to how to get the most out of it. And I'm not sure if I can share this or not. And if I cannot, I will just rattle them off one by one. So the most important tip number 1 is to get in there before February 10th, basically as soon as you gain access, and watch Colleen's story. They're really just 4-5 short videos that really lay out kind of like the journey that you can expect to have. And
you know what, Dieter? What we'll do tomorrow morning, we'll go in there and we'll actually add that into the curriculum. We'll put the 5 tips in there and we'll put that in the course. So now they can do that right off the top. All right.
So there's also that'll be a bonus tip. Anne Gray, another graduate, has a great presentation. That's one of her skills that she has. And we've also given everyone already access to that. So even if you're just a sneak peeker, as we call it, you will get access to that presentation as well. But the most important thing, and that's that's the tip, is to show up live for each of these webinars. Like, it's really important.
Yeah.
If you can make it, obviously you're going to get the replay. They're going to be put in there. But if you can make the time, create the time in your life to show up live, ask those questions that come up in the moment, that come up because of the content and the way we're going to lead you through the content during the webinar. And then also notice how interactive it is with the other students that are going to be on the webinar with you. Like, this is one of the best experience. I know Oliver was in one of the online courses, and it was really, really, I remember the briefing with him, just the questions that he was able to ask and how that kind of clarified his understanding even during the webinar. And then afterwards, he watched the replay. That really helped solidify what he learned. So that's really important.
As I mentioned, we're going to have people who took the first and the second courses when we resumed teaching the courses last year, towards the I hesitate to say the end of COVID, but at least the break in COVID. And so we're going to have people from those classes who actually have flown, who are going to be there to share with you what it was like. Because no matter how much Dieter and I and Eric and Diane talk about the how safe flying is and all that, that it's different having your experience and being apprehensive or anxious about flying compared to us. And so it's really invaluable to have people not only who came from the same place that you're coming from, but who have also gone through it. So that's probably one of the biggest benefits of this upcoming class, is to have the benefit of we'll call them our senior class, our senior students there. So, okay.
Right, so I got two more, Ron. And then,
okay, go ahead.
I'll pass it back. So tip number 4 is, that's a really good one too, because it's keeping a journal, like having a notebook that you go out and buy or pull out of a drawer and just write on cleared for takeoff 201 and have that with you at every time you watch anything or you read anything in the content area of the 201 course. I want you to kind of contemplate afterwards how that information really landed in you. And that's how you make those personal connections, and it gives you better questions the next time we come on live, because you actually did the work yourself. So this is not passive Netflix where you're just kind of like sitting back and then one after another, and you really don't remember much at the end of it. That's the binge watch phenomena. We want you to really be engaged with both of your hemispheres, so to speak. So keeping a journal is really just for you. It doesn't have to be essays, could be bullet points, could be, you could, if you like drawing, then maybe your drawing is anchoring the information but the point is, have something there that's tactile and that's available when we get started with those live webinars, but use it even for other content in the course. And lastly, and that's the one that I'm going to say, we're going to try and do as much facilitation in between the webinars, and that is connect with the other students, not just during the webinar, but we'll have the opportunity for you to connect with the other course students in a community that we're going to put live once we officially start the 201 course, the first webinar on February 10th. This learning management system actually gives us the opportunity to create a community. So this is a safe place. It's not a Facebook group or something like that where you have all sorts of lots of different people. It's just going to be people who are in the 201 course, either because they're already graduated or they're taking it with you. And this will be a really important resource for you as we get going, because you're going to make connections in these webinars. We're going to do dyads and triads and little group connections, and having this connection with others, regardless of where they are in the world, you'll find there are lots of similarities and lots of things that connect you. And in that human to human connection, there's a lot, because as you know, and as we teach, the pain in your brain is not about the plane. So we got to find it and share it. That's part of the magic. It's our third pillar. So those were my 5 tips, Ron.
And journaling, not only that, but I'm notorious for having you write with your non-preferred hand. So that's another reason to have that journal handy. And we'll go into that. other thing about that I want to just emphasize is that the real benefit, if you're lucky enough to be able to fly in the graduation flight, it's just amazing to see the transformation of people who just a short time before couldn't even imagine getting on a plane, let alone having a positive experience, and to watch them bond with other people. The strength in connecting with others is really something that changes people's lives there. So, okay, so that's it. You'll be hearing from us again related to the 201 until we get the course off the ground there. Can you pull up that slide there with the COVID information on it, Dieter?
Yeah,
This is just something a little bit change of pace here, and it's something I found. Someone did I didn't go to the research paper. I just looked at the news article on that, and they found where they did a study on where are you most likely to catch COVID. And what they found was, one of the findings that I wanted to report here, they talked about a movie theater, all right? And you can all probably relate to that. And that's kind of like flying, and so we can make a comparison. If you're in a movie theater and everyone is masked but not talking, your chances of getting COVID are 5.3%. So you can see the effectiveness of mask and not talking. If you're even if everyone is masked and people are talking, they bring their mouth down or the mask down from time to time, probably taking a sip out of Coke or eating some popcorn or something like that, it rises, but only to 24%. Contrast that with people unmasked in a movie theater, your odds of contracting COVID are more than twice, almost 3 times as likely in terms of if everyone in there is unmasked, and that's not talking. If the entire theater was in there unmasked and people were engaged in full out conversations, it goes out of your odds come up to 1 out of 2. So those are just some things there. So you can see to this date, the airlines still require everybody to be masked on board, and they also talked about the ventilation system in the theater. It had to be this was with a good ventilation system. And that's one of the things that we've talked about from week to week. And that is how the airplanes meet the HIPAA standards. And they recirculate the entire air in the cabin about every 2 to 3 minutes. And so that, combined with being masked, makes flying still one of the safest places to be on the planet. So keep that in mind.
Just Ron, do you have the link to that study somewhere?
You know what? I did. I put it on the slide there. And that's the link to the article. And I
just
did
put it in.
Yeah.
We had a question to.
Okay. And do we have any other questions before we'll go into the last thing here and we'll wind it.
There's just some excitement, some nervousness from some of the people that have enrolled, but more importantly, we also have some really good feedback from people who have taken the course, and it's such a cliche thing, but if you really think about it, the word life-changing,
Yeah.
It really truly is, and I know that you've done this for over 3 decades. I've been with you for 5 years now. It's just unbelievable how it's still an impossibility somewhere in the back of our mind until we get through the experience and get through to the other side. And I'm gonna just say one thing: if you're thinking of oh my God, this is a great course, but I'm somewhere in Atlanta, or I'm somewhere in Iowa, or wherever you can't get to any one of those 3 cities that we're flying in March out of. Here's the thing: you can still go through that online class, and even if you create on your calendar a date that you pick for your next flight, just making that commitment to yourself. You don't even necessarily, you're in this position where you don't even have to buy a ticket yet, but give yourself in your mind a date by which you want to be able to step on and fly. Will you be completely without nervousness? Of course not. I hope you get that. And everybody who has graduated and is flying successfully, hopefully,
yeah.
is honest enough to say that. But that is not what it's about. It's you are going to be able to meet that anxiety, that nervousness, the sensations that come up in your body, and you'll be able to actually be with those sensations long enough until, and that's the nature of all sensations, they will subside essentially. But we're going to help you through this, except you can't jump the gun. You actually have to be on the webinar. You have to allow yourself to go through the experience. And so even if you think, oh, I won't take the course because I can't fly out of Boston or LA or Phoenix, reconsider that notion, because that is a belief that keeps you grounded and definitely will not help you change your life. So,
when I compare the first 25 years of the 35 years I've been doing this, it's amazing. I couldn't do anything but call people on the phone. I mean, think about it. I couldn't convince people that they should fly to Phoenix to take my class down here because they had to get on an airplane to do it. And so now it's funny how it's kind of how the threshold gets reset. We have people that were with us over in the Air Hollywood experience over there before COVID, and we had this mock-up that we used over there that we could actually do kind of some quasi turbulence in it. And people are saying, oh, gee, I was hoping we could do that. Yeah, we were too, but COVID changed the world. And so that's not available. But the amount of information that is available to you now compared to when I started doing this 35 years ago is exponentially much more. So as Dieter said, consider it really strongly. And if worse comes to worse, schedule a 15-minute coaching call. If you want to talk to me personally about that, or just to get on track, maybe you got your own plans to do that, just schedule a free 15-minute coaching session, and I'll be more than happy to help you come up with what the next step should be in your life. Okay. I heard from one of my favorite students and someone to whom we made a quasi dedication on the back of the Fear of Flying book that we wrote, and that's Toni Trone. And Toni she lives in Boston. I completely forgot about that, but she's going to take the course. So looking forward to meeting and getting together. Toni, when I met her kids were in elementary school. Now they're going to college. So that tells you how old I'm getting to be. And Toni came by with a question. I asked her too late too close to the show tonight. She said she was watching an airline show on YouTube. Well, there's a lot of places. So what I've asked her for, and I'll update this next week. She said one thing a pilot mentioned that they had to turn around and go back to the airport. And was that concerning that they'd stall and the controls were shaking? What does that mean exactly? I know if my car stalls, well, that's trouble. Is it different in an airplane? Well, to be honest, Toni, I don't know until I see the either the video or the article upon which your question was based. But when we turn around in flight, it's usually because we have an irregular operation of some sort. I'll give you one example that happened in my career. I took off. I was going from Phoenix to San Francisco. And so when we got airborne, we have jet engines, which are enormously reliable and simple, but we do have gearbox connections that come off of that run mechanical devices like generators and pumps, hydraulic pumps and that. So if something happens in that gear assembly, it's a complicated assembly of gears and geared down things, and it has an oil reservoir to keep it lubricated and all that. If we were to lose oil for some reason, or we were to have some kind of a mechanical failure in a device like that, we get a warning light, which happened to me this day. And I was just coming up on Las Vegas, which is almost halfway up there. And so with that, the resolution to that is really simple. We don't have to do anything to the engine. The engine just keeps on running. We have a switch that we disconnect the mechanism so that the gearbox is no longer running. It just stops it. And so when we have something like like that, if I were closer to Phoenix, I might, in other words, if I had just taken off, I might turn around and come back and land. It's absolutely no threat to our safety or whatever. But once I'm on the way, there's absolutely no reason to bring me back here. I can just continue on to my destination, because we can actually fly without that for a limited number of flights, and I can even get the airplane back. But oftentimes we'll just go on to the destination. We'll get maintenance to go in and check it out and see what's happened. Sometimes it's a really, really benign issue, like the oil sensor went bad or something like that, and it wasn't even really a problem. But anyway, so in Tony's question here, what would be a reason why an airplane would turn around? It would be because it's safer or more expeditious to turn around and go back to the point of origin. You're either closer to that, you're not over halfway or whatever, and other extenuating circumstances, like you might have maintenance there that you could fix the airplane. So until I hear more information from Tony, we'll go with that. Again, to recap tonight, Clear for Takeoff 201 online is up and running, and we're excited about it. And we're here to answer all your questions. Please consider taking the class, even if you've taken it before, or even if you can't fly with us. We're going to be adding to the list of cities that we operate in beyond Boston, and so you can look forward to that. You could take the course now, and then when we do identify other cities, if you've already taken the course, you'll be eligible to get a free refresher course and just purchase the flight or the flight with us, and you'll be good to go. So don't hesitate. Look at it. If you can't commit right now, take advantage of that option to go through and look at the free part of the course. And please come back and see us next week. Hopefully Dieter and I will be with our buds here, the rest of our crew, next week, and hopefully we'll have more information and many more people on the list of people taking the course. So anyway, any other questions, Dieter?
I think we're good.
Okay.
I'm really excited. It's like you said, it's been a long time coming and a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's a really great experience to do this online course. So anyway, thanks, Dieter. Thanks to all of you out there. And this wraps up another edition of Fearless Flight Live. We'll see you again next week. Thanks a lot and safe flying.